Hey, it's Bob from Sam Sharp Sharpening Service. Hey, I wanted to go over a couple of things and some explanations of how we sharpen ice shaver blades here at Sam Sharp. I've gotten a lot of great feedback from the community, and I appreciate that and understanding that. I also get a lot of questions about the angles and bevels and maybe some experiences you've had in the past with having your blades sharpened or your blades haven't been sharpened the first time. So I wanted to go through a quick explanation, with a little bit of whiteboard illustration and answer any questions you have. And without any delay, let's go to the whiteboard, okay? Okay, so let's talk the blade geometry with some pictures here. So these are kind of my stick figures, and I wanted to show you what we're dealing with. Here's typically your blade, okay? This is called a single bevel blade, okay? Because there's one bevel here, okay? And then you got a straight flat bottom of your machine where the blade sits up against, and it just uses one bevel. Now, compared to a knife that typically would have a double bevel, so both sides, then it comes to a point. This is also very similar to some Japanese style regular kitchen knives where they just have one bevel. Now this bevel here is anywhere from between 30 and maybe 36 degrees for the ice scraper blades. Okay, and we want to stay pretty close to that. Not a lot of difference because the manufacturer is engineered for that to work. Now, if you take this bottom, this is probably what you're dealing with right now before you send the blades into us. You've got a rounded point where that thing is just cut and shaved and bent, okay? I'm just gonna blow this up so we can see better to see what we're going to do. All right, so this is the same thing as over here. You can see we've got a little bit of curve. It's beat up both sides. Now, the first thing we do for a true single bevel is we've got to keep this oversized, this edge over here. We've got to keep this straight because that's what goes up against your machine. Okay, that's important. So that needs to come down and keep going straight when we're done. Now, as you can see, we got a little spot right here, that we got to get rid of. Okay, so you could sharpen. Okay, take this same angle because here's your bevel. You could take this all the way down to where you come to a point. What would happen is, now I'm over exaggerating a little bit, okay, but just for sake of illustration, okay, this is going to be something like this and grind all the way down because you don't have any metal right here, okay, you're going to grind to about right here, okay, and you're going to go all the way up and then you got a new grind and you could theoretically get sharp. What happens is you take out all of this steel. You grind away all of that steel, and that's bad, okay, because that makes it weaker, fewer times that you can sharpen it, and so on. So what we do, what almost all knife manufacturers do, is they do a secondary bevel. This is the primary bevel. This is the secondary bevel. So I'm going to erase this, okay, and show you how we sharpen and what you get back. Now remember, we still got this big curve at the bottom and we got to get to here. So what we do, let me erase this as well. What we do is we come in and we make a secondary bevel. Okay, so this secondary bevel, and again, this is exaggerated. Okay, so there's a secondary bevel that comes in here and comes across. Okay, we take this little bit of metal out. Okay, you can see from my previous illustration, we take a lot more out. This secondary bevel, okay, that's this is the primary bevel here. Again, that was about 30 to maybe 36. Okay, this new bevel, which I grind, comes in. It's about 3 to 5 degrees more, depending on how you call 30 to 36. But you've got about 3 to 5 degrees more. And you'll see this ride line. If you look at your blade closely, or any blade that's been resharpened, or even a kitchen blade, if you look at it, you'll see that grind line right there. So we take this off, we take this part out, okay, and we come down to a point right here. This is your sharp point. Critical again that this stays flat, because that's what gets you messed up if you get a blade that's improperly sharpened, is they've left this curve and they've done this. Okay, that's bad because you still got a crooked edge. This edge is what you need. That's what you'll get back from us. Again, primary bevel, okay, when the blade is brand new, and secondary bevel. Okay, that secondary bevel is what comes in here and what gives you your sharp point. You'll also see later in the video where I'll do a demonstration of what that sharpness means. Now, when you compare this sharp to a like a Japanese knife or something, this is not going to slice tomatoes. The reason being, there's a lot of metal up here. Okay, a typical Japanese knife, you know, compared that you see on TV or going, okay, the bevel is more like this. Again, exaggerated, but you got a lot thinner in here to get through. On an ice machine blade, you need it to be strong and hit that ice and not chip off and be dinged. So that's why we put a bigger angle. That's why the manufacturers put a bigger angle, and we respect that angle. So there's a lot more meat in here, and it's a lot tougher. So. Okay, so I hope that's been helpful for you. Again, it's very similar to any blade, whether it's a carving blade in the kitchen or an ice shaver blade that we're working on now. It's all about the geometry and the bevels. I hope this has answered some questions for you. I hope you'll give us an opportunity to show you how we do it in real time, and send us your blades or send us other questions that you have. Thanks again. It's Bob from Sam Sharp. Have a great afternoon.